a Thursday night, do some light tosses as we get ready for our private game coming up here in September. For those who may not necessarily be aware, I've got a private game that I've been invited to in the middle of September here at Harrah's, North Kansas City. Looking forward to meeting up with the guys that I've played with a couple different times while we've been up there, and would love to see you all out there. If you guys want to pop in, say hello. We should be out there shooting the 11th and 12th of September, which will be Friday, Saturday. And yeah, we'll have some fun. Tonight, however, we're just going to do some light tosses. I really wanted to work on trying to hit my points. I'm going to specifically be chasing points as I get them. So if I get a point of 6, I'm actively going to hit or chase that 6. Same thing for 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, so on and so forth. What is going on? Welcome in. Thank you for joining. Not much. Just wanted to get some tosses in, get some practice in, get prepared for our game next month. So with all that said, hopefully that counter will be just fine there. And hopefully you guys can see the dice coming your way. I'm going to start things off just like I would on any come out. Start off with the 1, 3, 1, 2, looking to get those horns out of the way during the come out. Let's see what we can get. That is a 2x4 6. So we're going to set our first point as a 6. Okay. And we'll cover the 6. So I'm going to be tracking. I'm going to be looking for the repeaters and whatnot. So as I toss, I'll put chips here on their specific repeaters, see if we can't hit any of those while we are rolling along. All right, point of 6. Let's see if we can't smack that. 3, 5, 3, 1 is what we're going to go with. Hunting for 6s and 8s, specifically that 6. That is a 2x4 6, right back. Perfect. That is exactly what we wanted to see. That is the point. Roll number 2. Love buckshot and points. We don't apologize for that around here. We hit them and keep on moving. You know, that is actually an interesting question. What is your all's thoughts of buckshotting points? Do you want to hit a bunch of numbers in between, or do you want to go ahead and hit the point and move forward? Mrs. Hot Rod, welcome in. Good to see you. Please tell me you got some good news on Rod. I've been watching the news, been kind of keeping up to date. For those at home that may not necessarily know, Mr. Hot Rod himself, unfortunately, got in a little bit of an accident, got injured. He is okay. He is home. He is recovering and is doing well. Just want to pass on our thoughts and prayers and wishes. Hope for that speedy recovery and get him back on the table as soon as possible. Here we go. 1, 3, 1, 2. That is a 4-1. KC Chicken. There is our new point of 5. Mark it, mark it, mark it. And that was roll number 3. All right, here we go. We're going to chase that point again. 3, 5, 6, 4. 3, 5, 6, 4 now is what I'm going to use. That is used typically to hunt for 5s and 9s. 3, 5, 6, 4. We're looking for a 5. That is a 3, 3. Double tree rewards. Hard 6. That is the third 6 now we've hit. I almost forgot to hit that 5. 6, and there's the 5. Awesome. I may not be the best, but I will always support Mr. Hot Rod. That gentleman is a scholar when it comes to this game. 3, 5, 6, 4. We are looking for a 5. That is a 5, 6 yo. Yo 11. Mark it. I prefer to see those on the come out, but you know what? I'll still take it. All right, next roll 3, 5, 6, 4. Point is a 5. That is a 2-3 Michael Jordan. I almost said 2x4. 23 Michael Jordan, the GOAT. And that is also the point. Rule number 6. We've already got 2 points knocked out. All right, here we go. On the next come out. I forgot to mark the yo and the next 5. Guys, yell at me if I'm missing these. I want to make sure I keep the track of those. Hey, you're right, winner. All right, here we go. 1, 3, 1, 2 on the next come out. We're looking for aces, little sauce, ace deuce, or a midnight here. That is a 4-1-5. Little KC chicken. Put us right back on that 5. And hit the button. There we go. That is our third 5 now. Let's see, it is 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 2 more 5s to hit that repeater. Okay, so our point is a 5. Let's just go hunting for it again. 3, 5, 6, 4. That is a 3, 4. There it is. How every roll ends with a 7. All right, that is the end of the roll. That was an 8 roller. 3, 6, 7, and 8. Yep, that's what we had. Not a bad roll. Would have liked to have gone at least 2 more, but that's okay. That's why we practice. All right, so let's get back to it. 1, 3, 1, 2. That is what I like to use on a come out. If you guys want any add any suggestions, dice sets, whatever it may be, comments, stick them in. We'll chat. That's why we're here. I'm going to practice and I'll chat with you guys. Let's start off with a hard 8 square pair. Okay, we'll mark it. Got to reset my counter. Roll number 1. Point is 8. All right, let's chase it. So to hunt for our 8s, 3, 5, 3, 1 is the commonly used dice set. It's part of the 3, 5 series. You'll hear me talk about it quite a bit. 3, 5, 3, 1. If you rotate the dice, you'll see that it hunts 6s and 8s. 3, 3, 5, 1, 4, 4, 2, 6 are the 4 facing sides. That is a 2, 6, easy 8, and that is a front line. Winner. Back to back. Buckshot. We'll take it. Next roll. Back to the 1, 3, 1, 2 for the come out. 2 on the 8. Don't forget about that. 1, 3, 1, 2. Let's get a horn right here. That is a 3, 4 come out cookie. That doesn't hurt us. It just resets the ATS, which isn't a big deal because we only had the 8 covered there. That does count as a roll, and we're still active. I'm going to put that right there for the come out cookies. Here we go. And it also does reset those, so I'll put that up there. 1, 3, 1, 2. That is a 5, 6 yo. There we go. That's a frontline winner. And if you're playing the world, that's also a hit on that as well. That's why I play the world bet and also pass line when I'm shooting. Obviously, you have to play the pass line, but I also play the world bet because of the aces, ace deuce, 5, 6 yo, and 6's midnight. All right, here we go. That was our fourth roll. I don't want to forget to increase that. Still on the come out, so we'll stay with the 1, 3, 1, 2. That is another come out cookie, 3, 4. That's okay. We're still on the come out. This is why I tell people when I play, when I'm shooting on the come out, don't work the come out. If you want to hop anything, hop the 7s. But I'm hunting specifically for horns, and I will hit quite a few 7s on the come out if I'm doing that. Just the nature of the dice set. That is a 3, 5, easy 8. Light up the 8. 8 is our point. 2, 3, 4, 5, and that was number 6. All right, 8. Right back on that 8. That's our third 8, although that got reset because unfortunately we hit the come out cookie. No worries. Let's start it over again. So we're just going to hunt for it. 3, 5, 3, 1. That is a 2, 3, fever 5. Michael Jordan. Let's see. Let's see if we can't hit that 8. 3, 5, 3, 1. 5, 1 mixer. We'll take it. That is one of the possibilities of a good hit on that dice set. Remember, that targets 6s and 8s. So we are on target. Let's see here. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, I missed a roll. All right, here we go. That is a 3, 6, Nina 9, sexy 9, as they say. Over that 9. Here we go. 3, 5, 3, 1. This is probably my favorite dice set, the 3, 5, 3, 1. I love using it in crapless too. That is a 3, 1, 4, little Joe. We'll take it. It pays double. Three, 5, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, excuse me. That is a hard 10. Puppy paws. There we go. Our first hard way. No, we had a hard 8. That's right. Don't forget about that. No, we did have a hard 6 too. Okay, well, hey, we're doing all right. Continuing forward. 3, 5, 3, 1. Our point is an 8. That is a 2, 6, 8. There it is. That's our target. That's our point. Awesome. On the come out now. Let's turn the points off. Make sure I got my count right. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. Missing 1. All right, here we go. On the come out. 1, 3, 1, 2. That is a 5, 1 mixer. We'll take it. Oh, let me show that off. Then I'll mark the point here. Yep. All right, here we go. Chase after that 6 now. We were hitting them just fine, so let's see if we can't continue it. 3, 5, 3, 1. That is a 2, 3. Michael Jordan, Fever 5. Like it. All right, let's mark that 5. Roll. That is box cars. There we go. That's our first one. Nice. All right, so we need a yo, 2, and or yo aces and a little Alfredo sauce, ace deuce. Here we go. We still want the 6 though. That's the big number what we're after. Oh, that was a runner, but we got saved. 5-1 mixer. That's a 6. There we go. There we go. That's the point. Turn it off. What's up, Tyler? And let's mark that 6. There we go. Let's continue the roll. We're back on the come out, so that's going to bring us to a 1-3-1-2. We need either aces, ace deuce, or a yo on this come out, please. The yo gets us the talls. There is a 3-6, sexy 9. Nina. Mark the 9. Is that right? On off. Okay. There we go. Dice are moving. Let's go after that 9. 3, 5, 6, 4 is the dice set we use for 5s and 9s. That is a 2x4. Lumber number 6. All right. Continue on. Oh, I need to cover that 6. Yeah, there we go. That is a 3, 5, easy 8. We'll take an 8. Looking for the 9. Thanks, Tyler. I appreciate that. That is a 3, 4 all through. Hey, not bad. That was, how many rolls was that? Hold on a second. 20 rolls. Okay. Yep, that was 20 rolls exactly. 2, 3, 4. Just missed out on the 6. Not enough for the 8. Yeah, we didn't hit any repeaters. That's okay. We came close to hitting the talls. We needed a yo, 5, 6. And the smalls, we needed a aces and an ace deuce. Yeah, I really like this camera angle too because it really allows you to see pretty much the entire length, me and the counter, and we can do vertical streaming. It's really nice. Get this all reset. Grab some Barks root beer. For those of you who know, you know Barks root beer, the best root beer. Reset this. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, comments, want me to try something, by all means, please do so. Oh, I also want to remind you, I got a new video coming out tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Dice Quest. Second episode is releasing tomorrow morning. And actually, for those who are members of the channel, it released almost 3 hours ago. So it's already available to those who are a member of the channel. If you're interested in becoming a member of the Rail, you can see all the details and everything that comes with it right in the YouTube membership. Check out the comments. It's right there. All right, here we go. We're back on the timeout 1312. We're looking for a horn. Nope, 5-3. That's okay. 3-5-8. We'll take it. That is just great. Mark your 8. All right, let's see if we can't get it right back. That's a 2x4-6. That works. That's a primary hit. All right, next roll. Let's see, we are looking for that 8. The point is, and let's see if we can't smack it here. That is a Fever 5. Michael Jordan, 23. And it looks like I got somebody at the front door. Hold on one second. Come on in. Come on. Okay. That was a 5. That was our third one. Next roll. Point is still an 8. 3-5-3-1. 6-1. Gosh, dang it. All right. I mean, we just had a 20 roller. So, I mean, a 6-1, that's going to happen from time to time. All right. We'll reset it and start again. Okay. Everything is down. Let's go with our next roll. Oh, let me get a drink, refresh, wake up. Hopefully, you guys are all having a great Thursday, by the way. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow being Friday. I'm also going up to Harrah's on Sunday. They got a nice little promotion going away. Gave me a mailer that a guaranteed $60 free play at the table. I was like, well, heck yeah, I got to take that. And they also, I'm set up for a $50 free play. So I got $110 at minimum that I can get in free play. It's one of those mailers where they say, hey, come in and peel this off, but you have to do it in front of us. I can win up to $5,000. Yeah, the likelihood of me actually being the $5,000 winner, not very good, but that's okay. We'll still go and we'll partake and see what we get for it. Plus, I'm rapidly closing in on the diamond level, so I want to try to get that. Oh, for everybody at home, this is Zoe. Zoe is our long-haired cat who we rescued from a shelter here. Actually, it was in Kansas City and found her, and she has just been the cat's meow, if you will. All right, here we go. 1-3-1-2. Let's get a point set here. That is a 5-1 mixer. Set up that point as a 6. Hey, baby. All right. And there's our first roll. Let's attack that. Let's get that 6. We'll go with the 3-5-3-1. That is a 4-6-10, some kind of Larry. Here's the dice right there. Get your paw. Here we go. 3, 5, 3, 1. We're looking for a 6. We'll take a hard 6. We'll take a 5, 4, 9 just as well. I need to be marking these. That was a 10, a 9, and a 6. All right. There's our 9. What dice combinations you use to roll a 9, I presume, is what you're asking there? That is actually a very good question. 3, 5, 6, 4. Look it up, Edwin. I'll give you a quick look on the dice here. If I go with a 3, 5 and a 6, 4, so this is what we're looking at. I believe you can see it. So as I look at this, if I want a 9, I'm going to have my 3, 5, 3 and 6 on top. That's supposed to be that way around. I'm looking at it sideways. 3, 5, 6, 4. And then as you rotate the dice, you'll have a 5, 4, 4, 1, and that's a 5. Rotate them again. You get a 4, 2, 1, 3. That's another 5. And then it brings you back up to the top for a 6, 3 on 3, 6 on top. So 3, 5, 6, 4. If you're going after a 9, that's what I personally will use when I'm playing the game. Right now we're after a 6, so we're going to go back with the 3, 5, 3, 1. That's a 3, 4. That's all the numbers that we don't want, right? The 7, but that's okay. No worries. That is a good question, though, because a lot of times people will just grab the dice and play and just chuck them down and be like, oh, I'm supposed to get a 9. Why am I not getting a 9? Or this is meant to be for a 6 or an 8, and I'm not getting the 6 or 8. Well, the big thing that I have to tell people is, how often have you thrown with that dice combination? Have you put in the practice? If you, I really look at it this way for people who are looking to experiment or move into the world of dice influencing or dice control. It's like being a pitcher in the major leagues, a quarterback in the NFL, a bowler who does it professionally as a bowler. It's all about muscle memory. Free throws, shooting free throws, it becomes muscle memory to the point that you want the same motion every time that you are extending your arm out and releasing those dice. And if you don't get that practice in, you won't get the muscle memory. And if you don't get the muscle memory, you start doing weird things and you can't get those consistent type of rolls. Just food for thought. If that is something that you're looking at doing, practice, practice, practice. No, you do not have to have a table to practice. You just got to have a flat surface and throw them into pillows. It doesn't matter what they land on. Your dice sets don't matter. It just matters that you get the same practice, the same motion. All right, here we go. We're going to go back on the come out 1, 3, 1, 2 on a new roll. Yes, here we go. That is an ace deuce. That's what we're looking for. Little sauce. Again, if you're playing the world on the come out, you can use that to protect your pass line. So do not forget to do that. And it's a cheap alternative as well. And I love the protection of it that it gives you against the 7 on a come out. Here we go. 1, 3, 1, 2. Looking for another horn. That is a 3, 6, Nina 9, sexy 9, as they say. Mark that 9. 9 is our point. All right, here we go, Edwin. You were asking about the 9s. Here we go. 3, 5, 6, 4. That's the dice set that I would like to use for my 9s and 5s. That is a 5, 5 puppy paws hard 10. Mark the 10. That pays double from the way I understand it. Well, minus a 5% vig. Next roll. 9 is the point. Let's see if we can't smack it. That is puppy paws again. Hard 10, smacking it back to back. Holy smokes, we'll take that at the casino. Continue rolling. There is a 2x4 6 lumber number. Three, 5, 6, 4. That is hard 4. Double deuce. Nice. We are attacking the hell out of those 4s and 10s right now. I'm not going to change it though. I'm going to keep targeting that 9. And if it's going to keep giving me hard 10s and hard 4s, we'll just keep plugging away. I'm okay with that. That is a 369. There you go. Sexy 9. That is the point. Nice. All right, that puts us back out on the come out. Here we go. Dice are moving. That puts us back on the dice set of 1, 3, 1, 2. We want to go ahead and hit those aces or the yo and midnight, or why not just get one of each? That is a 2x4 6 lumber number. Marker 6. 6 is the point. Here we go. So the dice that we'll use for this, of course, right back to that 3, 5, 3, 1. Two, 6, easy 8. We needed it. We hadn't hit it yet. All right, we'll take it. Continue rolling. 3, 5, 3, 1. Come on, 6. That is a 5, 4, Nina 9. That's a Hollywood 9. Here we go. Let's hit that 6. Again, if it's going to keep giving us 5s and 9s, we're not going to argue with it. We'll just take it and just keep moving forward. That is a 5, 6 yo. We needed it. Nice. That is actually the yo is an expected hit with the 3, 5, 3, 1. It's just double pitched, but it is an expected hit. Here we go. That is a 4, 6. Some kind of Larry. Keep rolling. I forgot to keep track of my repeaters this roll. Oh, well, I don't care. I'm a good roll. Let's keep it going. 3, 5, 3, 1. We would love a 6 right here. That is a 5, 4, Nina 9, Hollywood. Here we go. So for those at home scoring, we need aces, a 5, and a midnight for the all. Midnight for the talls, 3, 5 for the smalls. That is a 5-1 mixer. Zoe. Sorry, I got to yell at the cat. She's not used to having things to scratch on. Here we go. That is a 369 Nina. Back to that sexy 9. Like I said, if it just wants to keep popping off 5s and 9s, I'm not going to have a problem with it. Just keep chucking them. I'm okay with it. That is a 358. There we go. Still in the same boat. We need a 2 and a 5 for the smalls and a midnight for the talls. Keep rolling. 3-5, 3-1. There is a 2-3 FIFA 5. Michael Jordan is the GOAT right there. And more importantly, we needed it. All right. So things are interesting now. I'm going to ask you guys at home. Keep rolling what I'm rolling, 3-5, 3-1. Or should I hunt the aces in midnight? I'll give you guys a roll to consider it. That is a 3-1, little Joe. 3-1-4. All right, guys, what do you guys want? Do you want me to hunt for it or do you just want, should I keep rolling what I'm rolling? I know what I would do. No? All right, I'm going to keep throwing until I get a response. Come on. 6. That is a 2x4, 6. There's the point. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay. So now, obviously, I'm going to be shooting for horns. I want the aces or the midnight right here. Let's hit one or the other. Let's hit that smalls or talls. Ace 3, ace deuce. That is a 2-6 easy 8. All right. And actually, what's sad is we were a quarter turn off from hitting that midnight. That's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to complain. We'll take it. We'll just keep rolling. 3-5, 3-1. Get that 8. That is a 2-3 fever 5. Michael Jordan again. Back in the house. Liked it so much the first time, he wanted to repeat. Three, 5, easy 8. There's the points. There we go. Golly, this is turning out to be a decent roll here. All right, that takes care of the 8. Let's go back out on ace 3, ace deuce. 1-3, 1-2. If we can't hit a midnight or aces. That is a 5-1 mixer. All right, no worries. Point is 6. Roll. Let's go. Let's go. 3-5, 3-1. Looking for a good hit right here. Let's just buckshot it. That is an ace deuce. Oh, just missed the aces. All right, here we go. We'll take it. That the ace deuce is an expected hit with the 3-5-3-1. It's just an opposite double pitch of the yo. I mean, there is the opposite double pitch of the ace deuce is the 5-6 yo, and there it is. We hit it again. This is why I like the 3-5-3-1 for crapless, just because I do hit threes and yos with them. And so, yeah, this was my predominant dice set when I play crapless. There is a 5-6 yo. See, I mean, I'm not going to complain. I'll take it. It's just, yeah. Here we go. I guess that's another thing. If you see that I've got a 6 or an 8 and you're at the craps table with me, go ahead and hop the threes and yos from time to time because they're going to pop up on me. That is a 2x4-6. There we go. That's the point. Holy smokeroonies. All right. You know what we're hunting? Aces and midnight. Let's see if we can't hit this small or tall. We're going to go 1-3-1-2. Come on. Ace, deuce. Oh, hey, but that still pays on the world. On the world, an ace, deuce, and a yo both pay 11-5. So we'll take it. But more importantly, that gives us another opportunity at hitting it. Ace, let's see, 1-3-1-2. That is a 5-6 yo. Okay, I mean, we're getting another opportunity, but that's another frontline winner plus a world winner. 1-3-1-2. Let's smack those aces or midnight. I'm fine with either one right here. That is hard 10 puppy paws. We'll take it. We will take a hard 10. Okay, let's keep going. That is a hard 6. Double tree rewards. All right, I am now actively hunting aces and midnight. So my dice set will stay a 1-3-1-2 until I either hit a point, hit either the small or talls, or I'm out. That is a 4-6-10. Some kind of Larry. Holy cow, guys. I can't make this stuff up. This is nice. What a roll. Okay, step back, have a sip. This is when you're at the table and they have to pay all the people out. We got to step away. Drink lady comes and visits you. Somebody does a mid roll buy in, those kinds of things. Thing I always tell people is I actively step away from the table when I'm rolling in between rolls because I don't let that stuff get to me. So I just step away from the table, wait for him to hear, hey, dice out. And then I step up and I do my shooting. Here we go. 1-3-1-2. Oh, 3-6. Sexy 9. I was watching that and the first 6 stopped And the second dice just barely missed the 6. So we've got a 9. Nina 9, sexy 9. Let's light it up. All right, here's that infamous 9 that we were talking about earlier. How do we hunt for a 9? I'd use a 3, 5, 6, 4. That is a 2, 3, Fever 5, Michael Jordan. That is actually a really good hit for us because the 3, 5, 6, 4, it targets 5s and 9s. So we're on point. We're doing well. Let's keep going. That is a 3, 5, 8, easy 8. Ooh, come on. Let's do this. We got this. 3, 5, 6, 4. Looking for the 9. We would not be upset at a midnight or aces either. That is aces. There it is. Nice. That is the smalls. Ah, there we go. All right, everybody, it takes a moment. This is where the dealers make out their payouts, all the smalls and whatnot. It's okay. It's okay. I just take a step back and relax for a moment. All right. Don't let it phase us. We are not done yet. We are not done. We got work to do. We want that midnight. Three, five, easy, 8. Yes, for those at home that are curious, I am hunting that 8 or the midnight. 1, 3, 1, 2 is my dice set. That is a 2 by 4, 6. All right, we can mark the 6 down because we've already hit that side. So let's mark it down. See if we can't hit the smalls again while we're hunting that midnight. 1, 3, 1, 2. That is aces. There it is again. All right, we'll take it. I would have loved to have seen the opposite side, but I'm not going to complain. We'll take it. Aces. Keep rolling. Wow. Hit that midnight. 4, 6, some kind of Larry. All right, here we go. Let's roll again. 1, 3, 1, 2. That is a hard 6. Double tree rewards. Wowzers. Keep it rolling. 1, 3, 1, 2. That is a 5, 4, Nina 9. That's a front line. I mean, come on, guys. I can't make this shit up. This is awesome. All right, there we go. Turn the point off. Let's keep rolling. Back on the 1, 3, 1, 2. All we need is that midnight. All we're looking for. That is an ace deuce. That's a little sauce about to cut loose. That gives us another crack at it because that is a horn. And if you're playing the world, will protect you on your pass line. Don't forget that, boys and girls. Play that world bet if it is available to you. It's a nice way to cover your pass line. That is a Cinco Dos. All right. That's a come out cookie. We are still alive, but that resets our ATS. That's all right. Let's see if we can't hit it again. We did hit the smalls, though, so that's nice. Hey, what's up, Larry? Good to see you. We're on a little bit of a roll here. Here we go. That is a 2-3, Michael Jordan. Even 5. Here we go. Let's attack that 5. You know, since we reset the ATS, let's just start attacking numbers, take whatever it gives us. So we'll go with the 3, 5, 6, 4. Let's attack that 5. There is a 5-1 mixer. Continue rolling. 3, 5, 6, 4. That is a 2x4 6. All right. I mean, we'll take it. There we go. 3, 5, 6, 4. That is a 2, 6, easy 8. We'll mark that and keep rolling. 5 is our point. There is hard 8, square pair. We'll take it. Back to back 8s there. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Sign me up. 3, 5, 6, 4. That is a 3, 4. It had to end sooner or later. And by golly, a fucking 50 roller is a way to go. Holy cow, 50 rolls, 5-0. You do that in a casino, people will be talking about that for a while. That was a heck of a roll. We did hit the smalls. We were so close to hitting that talls. All we needed was a midnight, the big 5-0. Guys, yeah, no, I agree, Larry. What a roll. That is just a fantastic way to finish the night. I tell you what, right now, if you guys ever come across this at a casino and see somebody hit this and you are at that table, as soon as that roll finishes, let me give you a little hint on what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go, color me up. They'll color you up. You just take that straight to the cage, go home, have a great evening, because you should have made bank on that with hitting the smalls, not to mention all the 6s, 8s. We hit several of the horns. I agree, Edwin. It was just a fantastic roll. At the end of that roll, you color up, you head to the cage, you go buy yourself a wonderful steak dinner and enjoy the rest of the evening away from the casino. Guys, I want to say thank you very much for joining me. Be sure to check out tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. We got our next episode of Dice Quest coming out. Merch is on sale. Be sure to check out the link, kccrafts.com. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great evening.